I can tell you that even here at Uganda Christian University, we've had excellent uh, female students who have done exceedingly well in at the university. I've supervised some of them for their research, and I know this. So we've had more girls educated, get journalism training. But you know what most of them want to do? They want to do public relations. They want to go to an organization where it's stable, because the newsroom itself is structured in a way that it's harsh for most girls to work there. And I'm not saying that it's not harsh for boys, but because of the other roles girls have to perform. If you're a young woman, you're 22, and that's why the family thing is important to me. If you're 22, you're a young woman, you've just gotten a job in the newsroom, and you're coming home at 10 in the night, you're coming home at midnight. When are you going to do the other things that are important for our social beings, for us as social beings? It's very, very complicated. The news structure, the newsroom structure is very discouraging. And I think that research has shown, and Barbara Kaija of the New Vision has actually published on this, that there's almost near parity even in the newsroom in terms of men and women, but it's the women who keep leaving. And it shouldn't be a complicated thing for us to think through. It's the way that the structure in the newsroom operates. And I think it's the one thing that coronavirus has probably helped us with, because a lot of people are now beginning to work from home. Newsrooms are beginning to realize that, people don't have to be there 18 hours or 12 hours to deliver. They can actually still be at home, they can deliver. And many newsrooms before now were structured in such a way that it was almost impossible for a woman to give birth and, have normal maternity leave and then return to the newsroom and so on. There are many factors: the nature of pay, the nature of work, the nature of relations in the newsroom, the nature, all of these things do not work for women, especially young women. And for them to stay in the newsroom, it is complicated. Improving the conditions of work in the newsroom. That's the basic minimum. Improving the conditions of work in the newsroom. And one thing I appreciate Daily Monitor for is they have a structured mentorship program where they say, okay, they've even recently appointed someone to mind talent development, because you have to care about that. You have to care about who is joining the newsroom. How do you keep them? How do you retain them? How do you make sure that they are prepared? It's not enough for you to be a news editor at that level and say that, when I was younger, this is what I was doing. I was going to the field and getting my news and so on. Things have changed. Things are a lot more complicated in terms of trying to maneuver around. The technology is now there. Can we improve the conditions of work in the newsroom? Can we allow people to work in a flexible manner? Can someone do their editorials from home, for example, without being crowded in the newsroom, and avoid all those problems of, sexual harassment, people being given jobs that they actually don't want to. Somebody wants to be a political reporter, but because your mind is fixed that political reporting is a job only men can do in the newsroom. There are so many things that have to be fixed, and we have to be systematic about fixing them. We can't, and that's the one thing that I think our laws have generally failed journalism, because they have tended to focus very much on, our laws have tended to focus very much on protecting the public from harm. But it has not addressed the question of safety of journalists. It has not addressed the question of providing a conducive work environment for journalists, particularly female journalists, and so on. If we don't fix those things, we can't expect that there are going to be more women working in the newsroom. We can't expect that the people who come to the newsroom who are talented are actually going to stay there forever. Because let's just face it, if you're talented and your condition of work is not good, it means your talent is going to be needed somewhere else. Some organization is going to need your talent at some point. You would have been an excellent journalist, for example, but your talent is going to be there at Acme, and it is going to be used in research and so on, and telling stories. But you could have also been in the newsroom. So at the end of the day, really, the conditions of work, the conditions of pay, the things that our laws have tended to neglect in as far as regulation is concerned and providing a conducive environment are some of the most important things, and yet they have been neglected.